We're back. Let's begin by looking at the Move tool. To do that, let us first bring something in from the Components window. So go up to Windows, Components, and yours will probably open up like this if it was the first time that you've opened it, or similar to it. So you can see that there's all kinds of beautifully done items. Look at all that. So let's just keep it simple. I'm going to go to Architecture, Electronics, and I'm going to bring in this overhead projector. Now just click and drag, and I've already zoomed in on my window, so that's why it's coming up so large. Yours may come out really small, so just zoom into it. So we cannot just survive on moving around in the workspace. To create a scene, oftentimes we need to move objects in the scene. So here we go. The two tools best used for this are the Select and Move tool. Of course, you can pull down from the tools up here, as we talked about, but we've graduated to doing them from here. So let's first pull down the Move Copy tool. Notice when I put the iron crosses over the object, I get 4 small red crosses. These are going to help you in the near future, but for right now, just bringing it to your attention. So right now, let's just left click, pick anywhere on the object, and move it around. You can see that you can move it all around. So here's where the working in 3D environment can be a challenge. As you move around in a 3D environment, you really cannot tell the actual direction that you're going. However, SketchUp gives you a couple clues using inference clues. Like in Photoshop, we have marching ants. SketchUp, we have a dotted line that takes on the color of the origin of the crosshairs depending on the direction. Now, I'm going to leave it here, and let's talk about this axis here. We have a blue axis, a green axis, and a red axis. This is your X, Y, and Z. X being straight up and down, Y being one direction, Z being the other direction. So not only does it help you to know Z, X, and Y, but the colors are completely invaluable. Without them, we wouldn't be able to draw properly. So as you move an object slowly, you'll notice that you have black when it's not in an axis, green changes to red, or obviously disappears, and blue. However, I can make this so it is out of the way. There we go. So now you can see green, red, blue. No matter if I go down, if I go this way, it changes red, or green. No matter if I change this way, it goes. So this is telling you the correct plane, because what will happen is you'll end up drawing and finding your object completely out of whack. And there's no other way of saying it. That's a technical term. So once you get to the axis, you can accurately move your object around with confidence that it will be in an acceptable location. Another aid is to hold down the Shift key once you're in an axis so you can more quickly move along the imaginary axis line, because you are now only able to move along that. A visual cue is the dotted line doubles in thickness. You'll know you're locked in at that point. Watch this. So let me get this out of the way. Now, as I start to move this, see how the line just got double thick green? I'm now holding the Shift key down, and no matter what I do with the mouse, it stays in green. So once I do that, if I start moving it in red and do the same thing, no matter what I do with the mouse, it stays in that direction. That is so very helpful. What I must emphasize that I have not yet is the fact that SketchUp, just like Photoshop, has keystrokes that you can use to make it do what you want it to do. What is absolutely imperative is if you are told to do a keystroke in a certain pattern, order, you have to. SketchUp will not work unless you do it in that manner. So please, if the lessons are in class, you hear that, really pay attention. So another neat thing that the Move tool is it becomes a copy tool. By holding down the control button on the PC or the option button on the Mac, if you look at my iron cross, you can see a little pluses shown up. If I click on this component and move it along the green axis, I have a second item. It's that simple. So again, item selected, holding down, in your case, the control key, slide, again, slide, and I can copy. Now this is really useful later on when you're doing more complicated models. One thing I haven't covered, and maybe I should really fast, is using the select tool. You can use this to select multiple objects or deselect at the same time. You could easily just click, hold down shift, click, click, and the same thing if I want to deselect, holding down shift, click, 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 click. However, what you also can do is you can select all of them at one time using the window, or whatever it touches. So if you need to be really precise and it's easy to pick, you can do all of them. Oh, notice how I didn't get that last one? It's because it crossed over. There we go. I've got them all. Now watch what happens if I don't get all of the very far left one in. It doesn't select. Again, this one, as long as it touches them, it selects. So the select tool is also very important. So from there, that is going to help us move on into the scale and rotate.